Okay, still waiting for it to pick up. Okay, yeah, that's good. Okay, so hi everyone, and welcome to the fourth week of writing streak. So today, what we are going to be doing today is actually reviewing written articles. We're going to be working on talking about the mistakes and also tips that can help you for improvement in your articles. There's one thing I don't know if we are familiar with these tools. Grammarly is a very good tool to be able to check your work. It shows you it shows you maybe your sometimes the sentence you made if it's incomplete. It shows you if your sentence if it's not fluent, like if your reader will not understand what you wrote, like you have the ability to be able to set your grammarly. If are you writing for a general audience, are you writing it formally, informally, you get to do that with grammarly. And also you can also use what's the name of this stuff again, I've forgotten their name. You can use qbots to able to paraphrase your let me send the link. You can use QBot to be able to rephrase your sentence. You can use it to rephrase your sentence. Then also we have please, are we hearing me on the call?
Yeah, I can hear
Yes.
you.
Okay, we have QBots which you can use to rephrase your sentence. Maybe you feel that this sentence does not make sense. You can actually use it to rephrase your sentence. And you can change it to either standard, fluent, formal, but formal is actually like a paid option, so you have the opportunity to do all that. And also we have which other two also have, we have Grammarly, we have Hemingsway. I'm going to send that to the chat. We have Hemingway, and it's actually used to I'm going to just send it to the chat. Okay, so it's just actually used to check your readability, to check some sentences that you have to. Let me just show you on my browser so that we can see what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm coming. Just share my screen. Okay. Okay. Trying to. Okay, when you see my screen, please let me know. Are we seeing my screen?
Yes.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, what are you seeing on my screen?
The main way make your writing bold and clear.
Okay, so I shared the link. I shared the link on the chat. But if you can notice now, this is actually it. So when you want to use it, you just clear everything here and paste your words inside of this. So it has a paid version, but this is the free version. The paid version is the desktop app. Like when you download it on your system, you have to pay for it to be able to integrate it inside your Microsoft Word and the others. But it allows you to what it basically allows you, like if you can see now these corrections, it helps you with maybe there are some synonyms that you used, that there's a better word for it, that they mean the same thing. So you can actually, it will show you that okay, this word you should change it. So it shows you, like it also shows you, maybe if you can see this place now, we have this one of 11 sentences is very hard to read. This part you're seeing, like it's hard to read. To show you different parts of it, you can see this part. This is a passive voice, and it's supposed to be an active voice. So it will just point out things that you have to it will just point out things that you have to make corrections to, which will help your writing. And this particular, and you can see it's free. This particular options here, it's free. Then we also have our keyboards. We also have our keyboards, if you can notice from this place. So you can just copy, and it has like a limitation. I mean, I think not more than 100 words, since this is a free version. Since this is a free version, so you can't just, I'm coming, I'm trying to accept more people into the class. Okay, so you can't just put everything. Maybe you have 1,000 words. You can't just copy everything there. Let me show you. Let me use this to show you. And see, get premium for unlimited words. So this one here you're saying is 133 to 125 words. So this is too much for it. So you can just copy it per paragraph and just paste it here. Maybe you want it to be more fluent. You think that there's something missing, stuff like that. So another tool you can use that maybe we are not aware of is actually Microsoft Word. Another tool we can use is actually Microsoft Word. I'm just going to show you how to go about it. Uh, Let me use this to show you. Okay, like if you can notice from this, you can just on your blog post, you can just click on editor. When you click on editor, you can see different places. It will show you what type of writing are you going for, professional, are you going for, are you actually going for casual, you understand? So it will show you your spelling, the things that it thinks is not correct, the places that it thinks is not correct. It's going to show you that, okay, are you seeing this part, it's not correct, you're supposed to change it to this. Then also my, okay, let me show you. It's actually on suggestion mode, that's why it's pointing it out like that. Then if you can see, I just clicked on editor. It will show you your grammar if any of them is incorrect, to show you clarity, to show you your clarity, it will show you conciseness, inclusiveness, and all of these. And you can also check for plagiarism
Rachel,
on.
I'm sorry, I'm just seeing Quibox. I'm not seeing Microsoft Word.
Oh, okay, wait, sorry, let me just share my
Yes.
screen. Okay, let me just share that part of it. Okay, sorry. Coming. When you see my screen, let me know. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I was trying to show you how to use Microsoft Word to help correct your work. That can help you correct your work. So, like, if you see this now, I can just easily I click on editor, and it will show me which of them I have. I can just change it to what type of writing am I going for. Am I going for a formal writing? Am I going for a professional writing or a casual writing? So I can just check how many percent is the editor score. You can see it. I can easily check from this place. Then also it will show me which of the spelling it thinks it's incorrect, to show me grammar, clarity, conciseness, inclusiveness, and resume. And one other thing too, you can check for plagiarism on your work inside of Microsoft Word. So you can see it's
You
saying
can check for
3%
what? I didn't hear that.
plagiarism. Am I not pronouncing it very well? Like if it's showing that your work is copied from somewhere, or if it's related to another blog. Do you get me?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Okay. So it will show you here in Microsoft Word. You don't have to even take it outside. Then I also want to show you, I'm just showing us different tools you can use to make your work better. Then there's also there's one I just recently discovered. There's one I recently discovered. For me, I'm going to just I don't know if I have it on my. Let me see what browser I have that. Okay, when you see my screen, just tell me. I don't know what screen I'm sharing right now. Okay, what are you guys saying?
QuickBooks.
What?
Okay, good. Okay, so I'm just going to show you another perfect place you can use to check for plagiarism. It's called paper owl, paperowl.com. Just going to copy it and send it on the chat, but on the on the chat in Microsoft Teams. I'm just going to paste it there so that we can all have access to it. So if you can notice now, I'm just going to copy from this place here and show you. So I want to check my work, like if there's plagiarism in my work, I can just paste it here and click on check for plagiarism. So it's actually going to show me it had issues yesterday. The site was down, so I don't know if it will work today. But it shows you if your work has plagiarism, it's going to show you how many percentage. Like it's going to show you how many percent. Like you can see now, if you can see from this place, it's telling me that 98.0% is, you can see 98.0% is similar, meaning if I want to use this part, if this is a blog post now, I cannot use it. Then 2.0% is original, and you can see the places that is saying that it's similar. You can see it. You can see there are different places. It will show you what particular blog is having the same thing with what you wrote. So it will show you. Are we saying this? And this one does not have limitation with your words. You can post everything you have written. You can just post it inside your you can post it inside of it. Especially if you are writing for a company or you are writing for is a paid blog. You must make sure that it's very, very important. You must make sure you check for plagiarism, because when the person that's paying you checks and sees that there's actually that blog post is not it, they're not going to pay you and they might discontinue the job. So we have to take notice of these things. And you can also use Grammarly for this. You can use Grammarly to check for plagiarism too. Okay, let me see. Let me just show you from here. I don't know why it's not working, but it's not supposed to come out like this. If we can all try it on our phones, if it's better that way. Let me try it on incognito. Okay, let me think we're not seeing my screen again. Let me just share my full screen. Sorry. Okay, let me share my full screen. Are we all seeing my screen?
No. Okay. Oh,
You're not seeing my screen?
we are seeing it.
Okay.
I can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. I just want to show us something.
I can't see
Like if you can notice now, this is Grammarly. You can use Grammarly too to check, but I prefer free owl. Like I prefer that paper owl because it will show me it's free version will show me how many percentage and what blog post is similar to my own. But Grammarly is not going to do the same thing. Let's go on with Grammarly. Let me show you what will happen. Okay. So if you can see for Grammarly, it's going to show you that we have found significant plagiarism in your text and also detected writing issues. So you can see it's just going to show you this. It's not going to show you how many percentage. It's not going to show you the blog post that is similar to your own blog post. So that's why I said I prefer paper owl than than just want to give you the link to what I did.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure, you can go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to know because I don't know which of the version are you using for Grammarly. Is it premium?
No, okay, this particular one you're seeing right now is actually, I'm not logged in, if you can notice.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm mostly using the most of the capabilities I just talked about just now on Grammarly. If you were in the beginning of the class, those are mostly premium abilities. But the free also has many things you can use. There's also many things you
Oh,
can use with the free version for Grammarly.
thank you.
Yeah, sure. That's long, but I'm just going to, okay. So I've talked about the tools you can use. I talked about the tools you can use to check for plagiarism. We have Grammarly, and we also have Microsoft Word. We have Grammarly, we have Microsoft Word, and we also have Paper Owl. Then we also checked for tools that we can use for paraphrasing, that's to rephrase your word, which is QBots. Then I also talked about, which other thing did I talk about? I talked about Hemingway, which you can also use to check your work. Do we have any questions from the tools I just mentioned? Huh? Does anybody have any question from the tools I just mentioned? Before I go ahead with the class, is there any other question? Is there any question? Is there anything I said that you don't understand? Okay, it seems there's no question. Okay. Okay, we're just going to go ahead with the next step. I'm coming. Just going to get a blog post and just see how it is. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, for me, when I'm writing, I actually make sure that when I'm, especially if I'm writing like maybe a paid blog post, I mostly use Google Docs to write my blog post. Then, or I use Microsoft Word, and I actually make sure that Grammarly is actually an extension. Grammarly is actually an extension inside of my Microsoft Word or my Google Docs. So I'm just going to go ahead and check what somebody wrote on their work. So this person wrote how to write loops in Python. Okay, go through I'm just going to browse through and see if that was the right name to give that blog post. While loop. Okay, the person is actually talking about the different types of loop, Python loop. Okay, I think that's a good topic to go for. I think that's a good topic to go for, but something like loops in Python is also good too, but that's a good topic to go for. So the person started with loop is a fundamental concept in programming. A loop is a repetitive action run on a block of code for a specific number of times. The code runs until a condition is met or else it ends. Loop allows for code reusability and efficiency. I would say that this part of it will need more work because for me now I'm not into Python. I do not really understand what is happening here. For anybody to understand this concept that was written here, the person has to be used to coding or has to be used to working with Python. So, and one other thing you have to notice too when you are writing, you have to define your audience. Like, who am I writing to? Am I writing to a complete beginner? Am I writing to somebody who who already has an idea about this? So you have to make sure that you define your readers? And am I also trying to sell a product? Like most times when you are writing, you are trying to convince that reader to use that particular tool. So you just have to define your reader. Like, who am I writing to? Am I writing to a total beginner? Am I writing to somebody that when the person sees this, the person is going to understand that, oh, okay, this is what this thing means. So that's one thing that is very important about when you are writing. So for me, I would think that there's supposed to be like a explanation here, but I really think that when you are starting a blog post, you have to start with an introduction. So I think this is, let me give this part, let me say 4/10. Then okay, going to go forward and say, loops in Python, loops in Python follow a different syntax from other languages. Okay, it follows a syntax from other languages. What languages? There's no example, like maybe to tell me that, okay, oh, this is the type of programming language. And when you say languages, how do I think that is a programming language? I will start thinking maybe it's French or it's German, stuff like that. I'll start thinking about different languages because there's nothing yet to say that, okay, this person is trying to talk about programming languages. So the person just went straight ahead and started talking about indentation. Said, however, loops in Python follow a different syntax from other languages. So I think that there's supposed to be like an introduction here to the reader to make them know that, okay, this is the reason why I'm trying to identify what indentation means. There's supposed to be like, okay, maybe like a subheading or something here to before you go on with this particular place here. Said indentation is used instead of curly braces to end the loop. Okay, apart from using it to end a loop, what does indentation mean? I would love to see what does indentation mean in Python. And also, any code written under the indented loop will run as part of the loop. When written outside, it runs independently from the loop. So when writing a loop, ensure to follow the proper indentation to avoid jumping into errors in code implementation. So the person said there are two types of loops. So I think that there's supposed to be like a subheading here that will say types of loops. There's supposed to be a subheading here for this place. After writing after writing the subheading for types of loops, then you will give like a bit of maybe like a paragraph to talk a bit about maybe the types of loop before you now come and talk about introduce them into your for loop. And you are even writing it like that. This does not make sense, just putting it like this: for loop, infinite interaction; while loop, infinite interaction. If I was a reader, I would not have passed this point that was here, especially since I do not know what Python is. I would not have passed this point. I would just have browsed through like this. I'll just look at it and that's all. I will not read through. I'll not read through this blog post. So after the types of loop, I give a bit of words here, like a paragraph, then an introduction into it. Then I can now start talking about what is for loop. So this numbering is great. This one I like it. It's great. Then okay, a for loop is used to a for loop. And one other thing you have to notice too is that you have to confirm. There are some words, like for instance, there are some words that if you go online, you are going to see that they have a particular way you have to spell it. Like SharePoint now. If you are spelling share, is SHAROE, then the point is big letter P. You understand? They have a particular way, even though they are, no matter where in particular they are in a sentence, you have to spell it in that form. So a for loop, me, I do not know how the spelling is or how it is, but okay. A for loop is used to iterate over a sequence of values or an iterable object set to run for a specified amount of time and produces, okay, sorry. Okay. and produces a result where the condition is met, it can be iterated into a string, list, or tuple. For me, I think there's supposed to be a lot more information on this particular place, this a for loop. There's supposed to be a lot more information about it. Then before you put before you start putting your code, like before you start putting your code, there's nothing to tell me that okay, this is the reason for putting this code. Like, are you trying to give a use case? Are you There's nothing. The code just came out from nowhere. So you have to work on that. Then also we have in this instance, we loop through each letter in the string. For me, I'm already lost already. I do not understand, especially from this point. I do not understand what is happening here. I'm already lost already. So if you can notice, if all this can be worked on, like, you have to there's one thing I do, especially if I'm trying to write about different steps. I try to explain what is happening on the image, like what is happening there. There's no explanation. There's just another instance. We use a for loop is when counting numbers. Okay, I'm not used to code. Okay, maybe let's say this person is not talking to a beginner, like he's not talking to someone who does not have any idea about Python. He's actually talking to somebody who has an idea about Python. Even if you are going to get different readers when they are reading your blog post, it has to be where at least the format has to be okay, but this is not it. So yeah, we apply the range function to specify the number we are looping through. Okay, specify the number we are looping through. I'm already confused. I don't understand what is happening here. Then the print statement outputs the number of specified range. Note the range method outputs a value from 0. I understand that you are trying to talk about it the way you understand, but just try and give more information about what you are doing. It's best to give more information about what you are doing. And also you can also integrate if you are working on Medium, there's a way you can, as you are writing, Grammarly will be showing you that okay, this is not it, this is not correct. You can actually do something better on it. Okay, so for this, everything that is here from this point, till when we got to this point needs work, needs to be explained. Like there needs to be a proper explanation, and also there needs to be a place where you're going to talk about the reason why all these codes are coming out. Like what are they in particular. So just going to go ahead and come down to while loop. Okay, I think, sorry, I'm just trying to admit more people into the class. Ah, okay. Okay, so I'm at while loop. The same thing is done here. A while loop runs based on condition. I think you have to, can you just give a bit of an explanation before you talk about this? As long as a condition remains true, it continues to run. So I think that an explanation about what a while loop is supposed to be done before talking about all these things here. So this particular place needs work. And okay, this place is better. Example of a while loop. Example of a while loop, the code. In the above example, the condition keeps running when n is less than 10, but ends when n equals or more than 10. While loop can be used in a list. Okay. So why an explanation needs to be made here. Why while loop can be used in a list. Okay, then for the code, the count of, okay, I think that's it. The person just needs to work on this explanation, and also on this conclusion. There's no need putting in summary. Like in this your conclusion, there was no need for this in summary. We had a walkthrough on the basic ways to write loops in Python. No, this needs work. This conclusion is not supposed to end like this. Then this thanks for reading, you can just take it at down. Thanks for reading. Then you can actually add your, maybe the link to your LinkedIn and also your maybe your Twitter account, any other social media you are using, and want your reader to reach out to you. So I think that's that. Is there any question for what I just reviewed?
Thank you, Rachel.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can take us through the way we can conclude our write-up, the different ways we can conclude our write-ups. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Let me give a bit. I don't know how to for your code, but if I'm trying to work on it, it's going to be like a conclusion, a total conclusion of what you have said. Like I'm trying to give a conclusion of everything you have said. There's no need writing like this person wrote here that wait, let me go down to it again. There's no need writing like this person said that in summary, we had a walkthrough on the basic ways to write loops in Python. That's on the basic ways to write loops in Python. That was great. But you just have to, it's like the way it's called, like a total conclusion of everything that you have done. Like what do you think about the loop? How do you think the loop will help in programming? Like what do you think about, is it a very good function? I don't know if it's a function, dosha, is it a good function? Stuff like that. It's just to conclude everything you have done. Yeah, I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, thank you. But I noticed that people write it differently. Some people just go straight to telling you could get other materials on this link, then introduce you to their social media pages, you know. And why some people will just do like a summary of the whole thing. I've been
Yeah.
seeing different formats, so I really don't know which one to follow.
Okay, if you're writing a personal blog post, it's different from when you're writing a paid blog post. You have to keep that in mind. You understand? If you're writing a paid blog post, you're not going to be packing links inside of a paid blog post. You get me? But if you're writing a personal blog post, it
Yeah.
depends on what you are talking about. Are you trying to talk about maybe like a course, maybe a Coursera course? You're definitely going to add links. Yeah, so it just depends on what you are writing on.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Is there another question?
Rachel, me, I
Okay,
have another question, though not on what you discussed.
okay.
There are times when they say, okay, write on this, but use American English
Yeah.
or use British English. So, like Grammarly now, I think Grammarly uses British English. So, how can you actually get that? How can you
Okay, you
accomplish
can
that?
actually change it. It's very easy to change. You
Okay.
can actually change it. Go to settings and change it from British English to American English.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Also on Microsoft Word, you can change it from British English to American English.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also on Google Docs, you can do it the same thing. You can change it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is there another question? On how to build arithmetic calculator with Python. This Python here, this letter is too small. I'm supposed to make it a bigger letter. Then okay, we're just going to come down and okay, so Python is a computer language that has earned a reputation for being a high level all purpose programming language. Most programmers choose it as their default programming language for quickly constructing small programs in a short amount of time due to its readability and code reducing capabilities. Okay, this was great, but most programmers have a you are trying to talk about programmers. I was thinking that I will see a bit of after that part, after that open sentence. I was thinking I will see a bit of what Python is. You can just put it like a subheading and just write what is Python. to just be a bit, not because that's not actually the topic. The topic is how to build an arithmetic calculator with Python. So I was thinking that the next thing I was going to see is what Python is. And also, so you just gave many words here, and you were actually talking about how to. One thing you have to know is that you have to. One thing you have to notice, you have to always think about what your topic is. Like when you're talking about your topic, it's just to give maybe an open sentence, define what Python is, and then you can gradually go into the main reason why you are writing this blog post. So you said so much, you were too focused on newbies, programmers, stuff like that. So, okay, if statement, F statement, and okay, most Python newbies find it challenging to navigate creating an arithmetic operator calculator software when given these practice activities. This blog will offer a step by step. I think that this part was supposed to be at the top, like where you tell your readers that what they are to expect. This thing here is too far. Like it's too far. You're supposed to say it at that first paragraph to tell your readers that okay, oh, this is what you should expect about this blog post. But it was not there. It was not there. So after saying that, you now talked about Python functions. Why was this things here? Like there's nothing to tell me what these Python functions and S functions will be used to develop this calculator. Okay, I think there's supposed to be like a better explanation here before you start making this. Define a function will be used to develop this calculator. Okay, define a function. Yeah, you're trying to talk about the steps you will use to do your calculator. So I think there's supposed to be a subheading for this. There's supposed to be a subheading, maybe yeah, for it. Then before you start your explanation, define a define a function. A function is a group of statements performing a specific task. Function is commonly used by programmers in order to simplify and reuse codes. Form function is where you start by declaring your function name. Okay, I thought we were actually okay. This is code, Dosha. And after doing this, your code that is here, is it your code for your calculator? I know I'm seeing calculator stuff like that, but most times is it your code, especially for one thing you have to think about too, you have to think of accessibility. Like you have to think that okay, even though I'm writing, does my reader understand what is happening? there's nothing to there's nothing to tell the reader that okay, this code here is actually for building of the especially for building of the calculator. You just talk so much about the function and there was nothing to tell the reader that this is actually for the calculator. Me now, if I read through this now, I would think that maybe it's an example of a function you want to show me. I would think maybe it's an example of how a function looks like that you want to show me here. I'm just going to come down. Then the def as used in line 1 is the keyword for declaring a function, followed by the function name, anything that you can see. So it's really important that you should tell your reader what is happening before you put your code. Then, okay, this is great. You're trying to explain to your reader, okay, there's no need for this. I don't think there's need for this both sentence here. There's no need for it. Note, make sure to include parentheses and colon after the function name. Okay, the next thing is create input text widget. Okay, what it entails. I think after the step entails, like you just talk about this step entails, this is the various steps you can take to something like that. The steps you can take, these are the steps you take to build your calculator. Then okay, create inputs text widget. The input function is The input is a function in Python used for receiving response from a user, which should be stored or assigned to a variable. This thing is too short. If you can work more on the paragraph, then also introduce your reader before you put your code. Okay, then the next thing here is the inputs. Okay, you also explained in this case in line 2 operation. In line 2, there's no need putting this one anymore again. Is a variable which is assigned to the value of arithmetic operation gotten from the reader. Okay, we're trying to explain all these parts. Then you got to use if function. Python if, this no need for this. Python if statement contains a Python if statement contains a body of code which runs this, it just the same mistakes that you did for the first part. That's what you also did for the others. That's what you did. You just bring your code out of nowhere. This thing is too short. That's the same thing you did for others. And to end it, you just said one of the best things about programming is that there are numerous ways to address a certain issue. However, this approach is one of the most straightforward and efficient ways to build a Python arithmetic calculator. And this looks great. I hope this is helpful and guiding you through the process of building an arithmetic calculator. But I think for this conclusion, you should add more words. And after talking about this, you should talk about loops, since it's what did you okay, sorry, your calculator stuff like that. And from this beginning, I think you should talk about what an arithmetic, like what is the use of this arithmetic calculator? Like what does it mean? Like what does this arithmetic calculator mean? How can you use, how does Python come in into the building of an arithmetic calculator? Man, don't tire. How does Python come into the building of arithmetic calculator? So I think that's all for today. Do we have any question?
I personally don't have.
You said?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I personally don't have a question, but I really want to appreciate you for the review. I've learned quite a lot.
Sure, thank you very much. Okay, do you have any question? We have just a few minutes to go to end the class.
Yeah, Rachel, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Is it like proper for me to like ask you to review my own or something? I don't know.
I cannot review any other work again. After I reviewed that first one, you'd have told me I would have reviewed it.
Okay. No
Yeah,
problem.
sure. Okay, is there any other question?
Thank you, Rachel. Thanks for the review. I
Yeah,
have a question, though not on the review.
okay.
Okay, so I think Bumi mentioned this, but I can't actually process it again. If you want to highlight like an image, like maybe you want to upload an image, but you want to put an highlight, there's a particular place you want to emphasize on it, maybe a circle, or you want to put it like an arrow. How
Yeah,
do you do that?
you can use a penta.
Pempa.
I don't know what Bumi told you, but for me, I use penta.
Please, can you put it? I didn't get that.
Let me show you. Are you seeing my screen?
Not yet.
Tell me when you're seeing my screen.
Okay, I can see PowerPoint. I think I can see your
Okay.
screen.
So paint, just use paint.
But paint is not always neat. The ones I see
Yeah.
nowadays are really neat. Or maybe I'm
Okay.
not getting it.
I don't know, but I normally use paint, so I don't. Maybe there's something else, or maybe you're not actually using it the way you're supposed to use it. So I
Okay,
normally use
please, can you show us?
like
Please.
okay, like this one now. I did not use the direct. Wait, let me delete it. The longer I use this stuff, I'm coming. Let me just show you. There are different ones though, Sha. It depends on which one you want to use. Depends on the one you want to use. But they are different. You can ask on the group chat. Then Bumi can just tell you. You can use
Okay,
different
okay.
colors. Yeah. You can use different colors too for it. To point what you are trying to explain. Okay, is there any other question? Hi everyone, is there any other question? Okay. I'm just going to wait for extra 1 minute and see if there's any other question. But from the class, in case of those who did not join from the beginning of the class, this class is actually recorded and you can listen to it again. I spoke about the tools you can use while you are writing. You can use Grammarly. You can use Grammarly for checking your writing and also for plagiarism. I talked about Paper Owl. I talked about keyboards, about Hemingway. I also talked about Microsoft Word. Yeah, I think that was the tools I mentioned. Then I reviewed two persons' blog posts. I just picked it randomly and just went through them with us. And there's one thing that will help everyone that is here. Just try and connect with everybody that's on this class because it's going to be a very, very big help to you. When you are like this last assignment you guys did, you guys were able to review each other's work. So because when you are writing, there are some things that are there that are missing that you are not able to see because you are the one that have written it. But when you read somebody else's blog, you're going to see that okay, oh, this thing is not supposed to be right, this thing is not supposed to be right. So with reviewing other people's work is going to help you with your own writing. It's going to help you with your own writing. Yeah. Okay, so since
Thank
we don't
you,
have any
Rachel.
yeah, thank you. Okay, since we don't have any questions, thank you very much everyone. I have class. Have a great day.
Please, I want to ask a question.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Has the topic for this week been given to us? Because I checked the writing copy, I didn't see anything.
No, I don't think it has. I don't think it has been given.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Okay. Okay, bye everyone. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you, Rachel. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just going to
Bye.
stop the